I just want to go over some really basic general approaches, some vocabulary to empower you as you go out and start looking at schools. So these ideas that we're going to be looking at are teacher-centered schools versus child-centered schools, and also academically based programs versus play-based programs. And usually a school is not going to be just one or the other. It's kind of a sliding scale in between the two continuums, so it's just important to understand what each individual program, how they approach things. So a teacher-centered school is one where the teacher is really going to be the director of what's going on in the classroom. There's a set curriculum, set goals and expectations that the children need to be meeting. A lot of predetermined, organized theme work is going to happen in the teacher-directed classroom, whereas in a child-centered classroom, children are really encouraged to explore, and they're the ones who are going to be making the decisions about what sort of topics are going to be covered in the classroom. The teachers are really going to pay attention to what the children are interested in so they can determine what they're going to be learning about and how long they're going to stay on a particular topic. An academic school is one that's really going to be focusing on the cognitive skills. And because it has a really set curriculum, these are usually going to be very teacher-centered programs. And usually the idea there is to get the children ready for kindergarten. So they're going to be focusing on those pre-kindergarten skills. And a play-based program is one that has emphasis on activities that are really going to help with social development and motor planning and pre-literacy sorts of skills. So this is based on the idea that children learn best through free play and experimentation. We're going to go ahead and talk about some of the major philosophies that you're going to run into when you're out there. We're going to start talking about the Reggio Emilio program. And this was developed in Italy, and it's based on the idea that children are really active and competent learners. So the philosophy here is that the teachers are really just going to be really good observers, and they're going to pick up on the child's interests and base the curriculum off of that. And through watching the children are going to make discoveries and solve problems, and that's going to help with their creative planning skills. Joan and I were in a Reggio school last week, and the director was telling us about an instance where a child found a dead bumblebee in the classroom, and that sparked some conversation about bees and why did the bee die, and do all bees die when they lose their stingers, and that just kind of snowballed, and it ended up being a couple-week-long unit on bees based on this discovery that a child had made in the classroom. So I think that's just a really good example of how the curriculum is based there. So you can see that the curriculum is really based on the children's interests. So the role of the teacher in a Reggio classroom is they're going to be the partner and the resource and the guide, but they're just following in the footsteps of the children there. They're not setting the curriculum or organizing themes. A lot of documentation happens in a Reggio classroom, and this is for two reasons. One, it's just to really pay attention to what the children are interested in, and then also it is to learn about the children, what kind of learning styles they have. The same teacher is going to work with the same children for multiple years, so they get really well attuned to the children and the learning styles of those children. It's mostly based on long-term projects, essentially, is what it is. And so when you go into the classroom, you're just going to see elements of these projects all over the classroom, things that they're building, posters that they're working on. A lot of the work is multimedia, so they're using drawing and graphing and sculpting and dramatic play and writing, so those things are just going to be displayed all over the classroom. And in a Reggio classroom, as with most of these philosophies, you're going to see that they have mixed ages, so they'll put children of mixed ages together, and the idea there is that the older children will pass on their wisdom to the younger ones.